and open source from ZTE, and also chair of the board of Linux Foundation AI and Data. Let us welcome him to the stage and share with us his ideas on unlocking the potential of 6G networks with AI and open source. 今天的最后一位演讲嘉宾来自众星公司，同时呢，作为 Linux AI 与 Data 基金会的董事会主席。 孟伟先生作为我们资深的行业领袖之一，他将分享如何利用 AI 开源解锁6G 网络的潜能。有请。
Good afternoon, everyone. How glad I feel to be here to have the opportunity to talk about something on AI and open source. And their impact on the 6G networks. And please let me introduce myself. My name is Wei Meng. I'm from ZTE Corporation, and I am in charge of the standard and open source planning at ZTE. And I was elected as the chairperson of Linux Foundation AI and Data in June this year. And firstly, please allow me to express my great appreciation for China Mobile's invitation, and I have the opportunity to have the talk with you. And today I would like to talk about three things, and the first is the generative AI native networks. And the second, I will talk something about the trend and the progress of AI open source. And the last one is the opportunity of the open source of AI impact on 6G and the future network. Okay, we have existing output and deliverables on the autonomous network. And I think this is a basic AI applied in the network. So on the right of the picture, we can find an AI platform, and AI platform can be treated as a separate component, and it is outside of the network itself. So the AI platform can provide the capabilities to the network, and the capability could be deployed on the cross-domain, and it is centralized It is a centralized deployment. And it could be deployed in the middle, and it could be deployed in a single domain. And we call it the lightweight AI engine. And the previous one is the cloud AI engine. And meanwhile, we can provide the AI capabilities on the terminal. And it is a real-time AI engine. So in these scenarios, we put the AI engine as a separate component out of the network. And today we talk more about the large language model. The large language model brings the innovation for the verticals, including the telecommunication. And LLM brings O&M a lot of new things. And we also have some pain points of legacy O&M. So the first one, we have complex O&M documents. We have many requirements for personal knowledge and skills, and these knowledge and skills are very expensive for people. And the transfer from the experienced expert to the newcomer, I think the costs are very high because it will take a lot of time and money to do that. And the second is the numerous O&M tools. We have a lot of tools when we have the operation and the management on our network. It is very complex for us to use. And the third one is from the 3G, 4G, 5G, we generated a huge amount of data. And the data today is a very big amount, so it is difficult to analyze by people. And the last one is the levels of maturity is different. For example, the core network, the intelligence level of the core network is low, and meanwhile, the intelligence level in the barrier network is higher. So it is hard to unify the solution to do the O&M. So use a large language model, we can do a lot of things, and we based on the basis and the foundation models, and we inject a document, and we use the intelligent tools, and we inject telecom knowledge into the large language model, and we can build a telecommunication large language model then. And today we raised a lot of imaging for the next generation network. And on the left side of the figure, this figure is cited from ITUT IMT 2030. And we find 6 features in this figure. So we certainly can easily find that the integrated AI and the communication is in the figure. It's one of the significant feature. So I just mentioned that AI platform was treated as the separate component of the network. So today's our result of research is, we can call it AI-based system. And in the future, the AI capabilities will be integrated into the network. And the network itself have the AI capabilities. So we call it AI native system. And then we will use a lot of large language model to help us to do a lot of things to achieve the generative AI native system. So AI native is the definition I provide here. It's not written by me. AI native is a term used to describe technologies that is designed and developed with AI capabilities in mind from the outset. And blah, blah, this is from ChatGPT. I think it is accurate for us to get the point of what AI native is. So next is about the features of AI native network. As we know, AI is not only for the algorithm, but also for some data and the computing power. So at the first step, the first feature is the network at AI algorithm. And the AI algorithm, it can achieve the autonomous network at the first. And then we will use telecom corpus for AI and inject this corpus into the AI large language model. And then we will using the computing power to train our telecommunication large language model. And I think the computing power is the key, is the most significant things in our large language model training. And then we will use the telecom large language model for AI into the network. And at the last, we will get the generative AI native network. So this picture is about the steps and to describe how to achieve the generative AI native network. And in the previous research, we do a lot of things on the intelligence level in autonomous network. And the left figure is cited from ITU TY.3172, and we initiate a recommendation in ITU and with the collaboration with China Mobile and other partners. And we defined 5 levels from level 1 to level 5 to give the milestone for the network innovation to the intelligent network. And the same as the autonomous network, the generative AI native network is also have the 3 steps to achieve the final goal. And based on the basis large language model, we will through the prompt world project and the large model of the base, and then we will achieve the preliminary level of the large language model native network. And then if we would like to achieve the intermediate network intelligence, and we will use some tools just like long chain and integrate the global data, information, and the knowledge. And then we will achieve the next step of the intermediate generative AI native network. And then the final goal is the advanced. And at this objective, we will use the O&M corpus to fine-tune training and upgrades. This is the last one, advanced. And the second, I would like to talk about some trend of AI open source. Firstly, I would like to share a sentence, community over code. This sentence is not, it is said by a very famous people in Apache Foundation. And this means the number of the developers determine the scale of the ecosystem. So our objective of the open source is not to build open source code, but the community. So last year we have a survey on the proportion of developers' interest. And in the survey, we find that about 45% of the developers are interested in AI technology. And about 34% of the developers are focusing on the programming language. And then the big data, the cloud native, and etc. So this means AI has a huge amount of developers, and it is easy to build an ecosystem for the open source. So the conclusion is AI is born for open source. And it is cited from the Blue Book, the China Open Source Development Blue Book 2023. And the trend of open source in AI is different than before. And the typical 2 trends here I would like to share. The trend 1 is from AI framework to AI tools. And yesterday we used a lot of AI frameworks such as PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Paddle, etc. But I think that is sufficient for developers to do the development. I think today we lack of the AI tools to help developers to do the efficient thing and development for the developers. So today we, in Alpha and Data, we have more and more AI tools projects in our foundation. And trend 2 is from open source code to open source model. Open source code is the traditional open source format, and it is the intelligence of developers. But open source model is not only the intelligence of developers, but also the data and the computing power, computing force. I think computing force is expensive, and the data has many essential things in its privacy and security. So it's very complex for people to do their open source model than open source code. There should be some challenge for open source large model, because I just mentioned open source model is not only the intelligence of the developers, but also the essential data and the computing power. Computing power is more expensive, and the data has many essential privacy problems, such as privacy and security. So let's have a look at from the bottom to the up. And the first challenge is that what are the open contents? We should open source our algorithm only, or we can share our data and computing force. I think that is a problem we have to face. Some people said that the open source just the open source algorithm is not open source. You have to open the data and the computing force, computing power. That is the true open source. Maybe many people have a different opinion on that. And the second one is, what are the business model? Companies may earn money from the open source ecosystem, but it is very hard to persuade a company to open their models, because the model is very expensive and costs many people and computing power to do that. So what are the business model? How company earn money from the open model? That is the second problem, second challenge. And the third one is what are the license? I just mentioned that the data has many essential issues, such as privacy, security. How to give an accurate license to adopt the open source model? I think it is complicated than the open source code. So we have doing some research on the license research in China, CICT, and how to say 电子思院. Okay, we have two thread of the open source large language model license currently. And then Linux Foundation AI and Data, Alpha and Data is the umbrella in Linux Foundation, and we have analyzed the landscape of the famous AI project today, and we analyzed there are more than 330 projects now, and we have in the GitHub we have more than 2 million GitHub stars, and we have developers and more than 40,000. And every week we generate line of code more than 1 million, and we have the contributing organizations the number is more than 1,000. So this is the landscape of Linux Foundation of AI and Data. And many companies has hosted their projects in Linux Foundation and Data, including Chinese companies and and the Japanese and the Korean companies. We can see Baidu, BAAI, DD, ZTE, they are from China, and we may find Amazon, Microsoft, and etc. from America, and some Korean companies such as Samsung, and etc. So we have more than 60 projects now, and we have 10 premier member and 30 general member and 40, almost 40 associate member now. And recently, we initiated a generative AI commons in airframe and data, and we solicit for a project of data set, model architecture, pre-processing code, training code, education metric and benchmark, model weight and parameters, and supporting library and the tools and the documentation. And now we have an initial project in China, Rancouver, that is a very small but very beautiful project for AI model in these commons. And we incubate that it has been incubated. And I think we may have more and more incubated and graduated project in the future. And our mission is to facilitate efficient, democratic, and secure adoption of generative AI technology among researchers, developers, and users. And the last is about the opportunity that for 6G large language model. And based on the open source large language model, and we can train the vertical telecommunication models via inject the telecom data mining and the telecom knowledge graph. And we will have the telecom industry large language model then. And the last one is about the idea, the conclusion of me is from open source to open source. Open source basis large language model we can get from the Hugging Face and GitHub. And then we will do the first thing, we do the prompt engineering to do to achieve the preliminary ONNM large language model. And the key feature of this stage is the prompt engineering. And this is also the preliminary ONNM large language model level. And the second, we will use a long chain to such as long chain LLM tools to do the to integrate the global data and the information and the knowledge to the preliminary ONNM large language model, and we will achieve another step, the intermediate ONNM large language model. And then we will do the last thing to pre-train and fine-tune the large language model, and it will be lead to the advanced ONNM large language model then. And finally, I suggest that we should if we do the training and the tuning and the prompt engineering, and I would like to persuade our developers to contribute to the large language model, including the telecom ONNM large language model into the open source community, either in Hugging Face or in GitHub. That's it. Thank you for your listening, and any further discussion are welcome. Please contact me offline. I'm very happy to be here to talk to you about the 6G and the AI open source here. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Mo, for bringing with us the open source perspective. In some sense, open source is also the trigger for the whole internet industry that we here know as it is today. So it is very likely that the open source will also play a similar role in invoking generative AI and transform all the societies and our technologies. And thank you. Well, in reflection, what an overwhelming day we had. Experts in the industry have shared the latest developments in AI technology. We have topics and sharings covering hardware, chipset, algorithm research, and practical application use cases from carriers, application solutioners, and we're also hearing very informative reflections from the investors. And also they are providing with us a portfolio of promoting startups in this direction. So it is very clear that both challenges and opportunities are around the corner. And by joining hands together, we shall mark the way. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to express on your behalf our sincere gratitude to all our guests and speakers today. 感谢今天到会的各位演讲嘉宾. And thank you to our audience, both on-site and online, for being with us. I hope you have enjoyed the conference as I have. And see you next year. 让我们相约2024，明年再见，拜拜。